This round starts with Dina Sweat.
Groveland currently has a severe traffic and safety issues. With projected 24,000 plus residential homes currently approved in the city, and each residential home generating between 1 and 7 traffic trips daily, there have been very few planned and approved road improvements in the last 5 years, putting this issue in the lead for additional clogged roads and safety issues going forward. Right now, Highway 19 is clogged, 50 gets clogged because we have so many trucks, 18-wheelers, cars, you name it, it comes through. You can sit in any parking lot and count the trucks by the hundreds as they come down our roads, and we just don't have the space for that. We need to have road improvements, and that's where the MPO will have to come in.
Thank you, Ms. Sweat. Now to you, Randolph Wade.
Well, one thing I definitely agree with Dina Sweat is that the last 5 years we have not had any funding or any sort of solution for State Road 50. Just recently, I had the opportunity to acquire $39.9 million of acquisition from Florida Department, FDOT, for the city of Groveland. That fund is that will be funds that will not be paid back, and that will go towards the realignment project on State Road 50. Also, one thing I think we also need to definitely focus in on is a street repair and resurfacing plan. That's a plan that we currently don't have. That's something that definitely, if reelected, we'll continue to work towards putting together that plan. And also, definitely a long-term financial stability plan on how we will pay for this growth moving forward in the next 10 years.
Thank you. 30 seconds if you'd like, Ms. Sweat.
My plan calls for working with the Metropolitan Planning Organization, or the MPO, Florida Department of Transportation in Lake County, to adequately plan for and construct new roads and major improvements to existing roads. We need to make sure that our subdivisions have wider roads so our emergency vehicles can get through, because when people park on one side or the other, or both sides, nobody can get through. So we need to take a big, long look at our road situation and make it better for everybody, not just a select few.
Thank you. Mr. Wade, if you'd like, you got 30 seconds to close us out on this issue.
Once again, like I said, as we move forward, we've been promised a relief on this traffic issue for about 15, 20 years. And now we have a vice mayor that is moving forward with that project and coming up with solutions to better assist our residents with this traffic issue. We all know it is a traffic issue in all neighborhoods and also State Road 50 as well.
Thank you, sir. And that concludes the first part of our town hall meeting. We will now ask a question that we want all the candidates to answer. And this one will not have a follow-up, although candidates are free to make additional comments in their closing if they choose to do so. All right, candidates, it has been said that Groveland's infrastructure has been neglected for years, and we're referring to roads, water, sewer, and schools. Number one, first part of the question, in your opinion, how would you prioritize the top infrastructure concerns? And then the second part is, name one thing you would recommend in the next 2 years to address that particular concern. We're going to go in alphabetical order, and you'll get 90 seconds to answer the question. First up, Barbara Gaines.
I'm still trying to find the question.
All right, I'll give you a second or two.
The roads, the water, the sewer, and schools, they're all interconnected. Our children are the prize, and it's important that we keep transportation, water, sewers, and all of that available for the use of our precious jewels. We have a plan with the county to use impact fees to fix roads. But it depends on the situation because it's all interconnected. What may be in the mayor's district that is important, we might have sidewalks, perhaps her district doesn't have sidewalks. That's why it's all interconnected. In Waterside Point, a traffic light entering and exiting the subdivision is important. Crystal Lake erosion is important. We all have to come together. We define what is in the interest of our district. We have to come together and integrate and choose wisely what we are going to work on first. Thank you.
And thank you. Next up is Tim Laux.
Prior to my term as mayor expiring in 2016, the staff had informed the council and confirmed that Groveland had granted a 20-year consumption use permit for St. John's River Water Management District. This permit allowed the city to modify and increase its water allocation over the next 20 years as needed. So water is taken care of for that 20-year period. Although the remaining three concerns, roads, schools, and sewer, are extremely important to our city's future, my two top priorities will be resolved in the inability of Groveland to provide adequate sewer and adequate roads to accommodate 24,000 additional residential homes, which will generate 6 million gallons of sewer a day and 168,000 traffic trips per day. To ensure Groveland's growth does not outpace its ability to provide city sewer, my plan calls for restricting the number of homes that can be constructed in any given year until such time Groveland can effectively address this issue.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Mike Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, as mayor, my top priority would be to have the city conduct a systemic analysis of its infrastructure. This assessment would allow us to understand what the critical infrastructure is that's at risk and to help to prioritize the repair and replacement of that infrastructure. It also would provide a catalog of information on how to best maintain that infrastructure so that the city is able to realize the full life cycle value of that piece. At the same time, the city should be proposing that emergent repairs or replacement where events and citizen input have shown long-standing problems affecting the health and the welfare of the residents of those impacted areas. While infrastructure for issues such as water, sewer, reclaim may not be a problem in some areas of the city because they're new, older areas of the city are neglected and in need of replacement of water and sewer areas. The same can be said for stormwater systems, roads, sidewalks, and so much else. To elect to do one area and neglect others doesn't seem to benefit the citizens as a whole. I cannot tell you who is needed the greatest, but the city can develop that understanding and act on it. I believe that as a city, we need to better understand the problems facing our infrastructure and the scope of actions needed to address those problems. We need to understand that infrastructure has a life cycle and ensure that our budgets in the coming years provide for repair and replacement, as well as providing for maintenance and repair of system components in order to realize the maximum life of our infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. Your turn, Nina Sweat.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what Mr. Laux said because I was on the council at the same time prior to the year 2016, where the St. John's allowed a permit for the city to modify the increases in water. But it's not just the water, it's the roads, the schools, the sewers. We have to be careful with everything we do. And with what is going on right now, we will run out of water if we're not very careful. And the roads need to be fixed, the schools need to be educated a little bit more with the children and the teachers. And we just need to be very careful with what we're doing at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Your thoughts, Randolph Wade?
Dr. King?
Well, one thing I know we need to
do is, we need to ensure the implementation of Groveland's first master utilities plan. We've never had a master utilities plan. Currently, right now, Groveland before I stepped on council, we were paying for utilities on our general budget. And now, with our partnership with what is occurring, we're going to be able to take our utilities off of our general fund with this new utilities master plan. We also now have a master plan for Parks and Rec. When we're talking about master plan, we're talking about how we project to spend out in the next 10 years. And you hear me talk about a financial stability plan. That is the next plan that needs to be developed. As we talk about our strategic plan and as we look forward and look into the future, we need a financial stability plan on how Groveland will pay for its growth. When we talk about the sewers, we talk about that partnership with Woodard and Curran. Woodard and Curran has put us in a position now to acquire a new regional sewer plant on Village City Road that will expand our sewer intake, which is our 1 million gallons per day, and increase our million gallons per day. That part of the sewer has been taken care of with that partnership with Woodard and Curran and finding that funding for that.
Thank you. Evelyn Wilson, your perspective, please.
Since I'm last, most of the stuff you've heard already. All right, because roads are county and state, the water has been contracted to Woodard and Curran. Schools are regulated by the county. I believe the sewer and stormwater are our top priorities because of the flooding and updated infrastructure that is necessary. On May 2nd, 2022, the council adopted its very first ever utility master plan. And because you've given all the questions to everyone, I'm combining another statement. Unfortunately, over the years, I've heard a variety of answers to the question on the problems with water. One being you're taking out all the water from the aquifer. Then I heard there's plenty of water, the problem is distribution. The further from the coast, the harder it is to get what is needed. The most recent answer is that at this time, when it is needed, the infrastructure will be in and there won't be a shortage. I want to tell you that one of the happiest days for me in Groveland was when we contracted to Woodard and Curran. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we're going to return to our questions by district. Our next question goes to the candidates for District 1. Groveland, like the rest of Florida and the country, is increasingly becoming more diverse. What does diversity mean to you, and how do you think the City Council can embrace and support diversity in our community? And Evelyn Wilson, since you were last time, you're going first this time.
Thank you. Diversity to me is that the city is made up of numerous cultures and ethnicities. Since I've lived in Groveland, the City Council has always had a diverse majority or minority representation. The council can further this by reaching out to get even more participation by the residents in meetings, cultural festivities for the families, and committees to let their voices be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Smith.
So the basic definition of diversity has to see a variety of peoples, races, ethnicities, economic backgrounds, lived experiences. It's a whole wealth of things out there that make us different. And the great thing is, Groveland is made up by a lot of different people that bring great diversity to it. Diversity works really good. The councilors use it and embraces it all the time. We have the Recreational Advisory Committee, we have the Planning and Zoning Committee, we have the Strategic Planning Committee. All those are diverse bodies that were generated by people that are here within the city. And because of that diversity, we get better opinions, we get more insightful understandings of the problems that go before us. However, I'm going to say diversity is one leg of a three-legged stool. You can have diversity, you can have a really diverse crowd here. But if we don't have equity and inclusion, we're not making use of that. If you think about making concrete, if you just take a lot of rocks and put it in the middle of the concrete and then set it, it doesn't really make that any stronger. That's not diversified. That's not including it across the whole thing. So one of the things I heard that made it really interesting how that came out was, little thing said, if you think of it as like attending a party, diversity is where everyone is invited to the party. Inclusion means that everyone gets to contribute to the playlist. And equity means that everyone has the opportunity to dance and experience the music. As mayor, I work to ensure that Groveland has all three legs to that school.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson, you have 3 seconds if you'd like to add anything.
I don't have to become mayor to do this. I've been doing it since 2009. I reach out to the people. I am approachable. I participate in every event that I have been asked to come to, which is from the Caribbean Jerk Festival to Sips and Salsa to lighting menorah right here in Groveland. I thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, 30 seconds are available to you.
Just to say that I am extremely proud to be a part of the city and a part of the city council, and I think that we do value diversity and inclusion and equity. And I look forward to seeing all of those continue in the future. We're really see Groveland grow as a whole.
Thank you. Our next question goes to the candidates for District 3. Do you support the city's strategic plan as it relates to new schools, that is, advocating for smaller schools, walkability, charter schools? Explain your position and why you believe it is the best for Groveland's future. And on this question, we'll start off with Tim Lowers.
1 second. I fully support Groveland's 2022 strategic plan and embrace smaller schools that are walkable and charter schools. This concept will provide a higher degree of education and safety for our students while allowing smaller class sizes and enhanced personal interaction with teachers and students. My plan calls for the city or a private entity to enter into a partnership as prescribed by Florida Statute 1-00233, charter schools with Lake County School Board, to plan, designate, and build schools consistent with the city's vision of smaller schools with integrated and walkable neighborhoods.
Thank you, sir. Mark Ames, your thoughts?
Thank you. I believe that our strategic plan is great, and it advocates for additional schools. But we need to make sure that the schools are walkable and in the communities for the future homes that are now being built. Right now, there are no new schools being planned in Groveland by the Lake County School District. So we have to look at alternative options as well as funding. One of those options is developing or building charter schools in the neighborhoods and develop them so they're small and sustainable and will be within walking distance in the communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lowers, there's 30 seconds available if you'd like.
I'm happy to say this is the first time that Barbara and I agree with something.
Ms. Gaines.
So, well,
There can be agreement in politics. I love it. Our next question goes to the candidates for District 5. Please comment on your view of South Lake County's current and future water demands. And while you find that question, the first up on this will be Randolph Wheat.
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely. Please comment on your view of South Lake County's current and future water demands.
Okay. Well, first off, like I stated before, we need to ensure the implementation of Groveland's master utilities plan. From my knowledge that I have acquired over the 2.5 years that I've been in office, I came to the understanding of a lot of different aspects of CUPs and also our gallons per day. Right now, we have an agreement with Mascot to take on 250 gallons per day of their waste. That contract was written back in 2013 and has been renewed ever since. So right now, we're in the process of restructuring that contract, where before we were good neighbors, and now we're going to have Mascot pay for that growth. But in us saying that we're going to have Mascot pay for that growth, we would not be a good neighbor by not partnering them up with what is occurring. But what is occurring found in $750,000. Well, now they would pay for our new regional park. The good thing about it is Mascot did not pump $250,000 of waste each day. They only pumped 10,000. All right, so that was a good part about that. And so that new regional park will also help, support some of our schools and some of the other infrastructure things as our new recreational facilities that we just received $6 million for, and some of the new other construction in that regard.
Thank you. Your turn, Dina Sweat.
I'm sorry, but I did not receive that question.
Take a stab at it.
I do have it, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to piggyback off Randolph Waite's response, but prior to my term in 2016 as a councilwoman, staff informed the council that our consultant confirmed Groveland had been granted a 20-year consumptive use permit from the St. Johns River Water Management District. The permit allowed for the city to modify and increase its water allocation as required by additional growth for over the next 20 years. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wade, would you like to add anything else?
Only thing I do want to add is just an informational piece for definitely, because this is what this is for. We will be drilling a new lower aquifer that will increase our CUPs over time to 4.1 from 2.5 currently. So I know that it's always a big thing of water.